The Fed says its rate hikes are gonna reset the housing industry, but the disruption could largely come from buyers and sellers just being confused. The average 30-year mortgage went from 3.2% all the way up to 6.38% in 6 months. Tightening supply as the sellers hold on to those low interest rates. But the demand for real estate nationwide is very, very high. So, does this cause confusion for buyers and sellers? Yep, it's called supply and demand, folks. And we still have a housing shortage, and people still need a place to live. People want to relocate and retire, so there's that. And also employers sometimes move employees to one place to another across the nation. But the powers in charge think they know better. Jerome Powell said, in an effort to cool off a red-hot housing market and to straighten a big imbalance, he thinks it'll take a big correction to fix things. I personally don't like the sound of that. And based upon those comments, here's what several experts say could lie ahead for us. Economists at Moody's Analytics say year-over-year price increases will go from 20% down to 0. Basically, no price increases. Okay, I might buy that. I personally don't see prices going up either, but I also don't think we're going to have a crash. At least not here in the Florida market. Now prices, they've gone up over 20% over the last 2 years here in Florida, and that's impossible to sustain. So, yeah, I see prices leveling off. I can see it happening right now. So technically, we're already in a correction. Inventory is starting to rise, and the number of recorded sales are starting to slow. And it doesn't take rocket scientists to figure that out. If you're going to increase interest rates where people can't afford to buy a house, of course, sales are going to start to decline. So the Fed is shocking the market, and he's doing it intentionally. So many folks may be asking, is inflation going to cause housing prices to go down? Well, I can tell you one thing, it's certainly not going to help things. However, to slow inflation, consumers have to slow consumption. Buying a new or existing home doesn't necessarily slow consumption. When people buy houses, they go buy things, furniture, they make home improvements. This continues to stimulate the economy. So it's a tricky balancing act, and many people think, are we actually going to have a crash? Crash. I hate that word. A different C word called a correction. That is what we will have. And it's already happening. Inventory is increasing. Homes are staying on the market for a longer period of time. Instead of being scooped up in 3 or 4 days, homes are staying on the market 30, 45, 60 days. That's normal. Sellers are not going to continue to get 100% of their asking price. Take a look at this report. 4 years ago here in Florida, sellers were getting 96% of their list price. That increased to 100% of list price in 2021, and it has stayed there. As you can see, over a 4-year period, here in Florida, this is a Florida report, sellers were getting about 96% of their listing price. And over the past 4 years, it went from 96% up to 100%. So I expect it to go back to the 96 or 97% of the list price. That is what we have historically been getting here in Florida. Now the telltale sign will be when the third quarter report comes out. And when that does, I will certainly give you an update. But that's not going to be out till November. November is going to be a very interesting month in so many ways. Now I know I'm going to get all kinds of comments below, because I always do, when I make a statement like I don't see a crash. There's plenty of people out there that don't agree with me, but there's plenty of people that do, and many of them are economists. And the founders of a very large risk management company also feel the way that I do, that a crash is not what we're going to experience, just a correction. You know, and that's because U.S. households are more balanced, economically strong than they were back in 2006. The Fed goal is to slow things now, not to break it. Let's hope he doesn't break it. We will always have housing demand. Unfortunately, it's just going to be a little more expensive to purchase a house than it was before. Rates were artificially low. Now they have gone back to what they were 10, 12 years ago. Let's take a quick peek at what's happening here in my market, just to give you a little example. Here in the Treasure Coast, closed sales were down by about 11%. However, prices were up 24% year over year. Foreclosures were down by 65% and short sales were also down by 81%. So we have very little in the way of distressed sales in our market. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. While it was short, got to the point, give you a little bit of information about what's happening in the real estate markets, particularly here in Florida. I want to thank you for spending part of your day with me. Again, smash that like button if you enjoyed this video. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already done so, because I would love to have you as part of my YouTube channel. My name is Lisa.Ammons. I'm a real estate broker here in sunny South Florida, and I make videos about lifestyle here in the Treasure Coast, as well as neighborhoods, real estate, and on occasion, my little pumpkin, Truman. And I may be starting a second channel. And I would love to have you join me on that channel. I'll make an announcement when I make my first video. Now I gotta go sell a house. Take care.